Hey everybody, it is December 27th and hopefully you had a decent holiday. I spent mine working to make sure that after you got all the things you were going to get and you were kind of like, Christmas is over. I'm getting ready to give you the best present you ever had, all right? Check this out.
This is stuff that we've always advocated for as Democrats. Kudos to the president.
The companies assembled in this room have agreed to offer all of their drugs to Medicaid and most favored nations pricing, meaning the lowest price anywhere in the world.
Thank you. Joining us now, Ami Bera. He is a Democratic congressman from Sacramento. The congressman, by the way, in a former life, once oversaw care management for 7 California hospitals. Congressman, doctor, thanks for being with us. Pretty big announcement. Do you give the president credit on this?
I do. This is stuff that we've always advocated for as Democrats. Kudos to the president for getting the ball rolling on this. And it's a place where we should be able to work together. Let's bring down drug costs for the American people.
What do you think it means for prices going forward?
The pharmaceutical companies are pretty shrewd in how they do their business practices, but I agree with the president. Why should we be paying 3 times more than every other developed country in the world?
Most favored nation, most favored nation, most favored nation.
So if we want to peg our prices to all the other developed nations, that's a good thing. So again, I'll give the president credit on this.
Most favored nation.
Yeah, he might have most favored nations pricing so that the U.S. gets lower prices than everyone else. But the fact is, everyone else is overpaying too. Here in the U.S., we import 90% of our meds.
So a lot of the focus today was on drug prices and the pharmaceutical companies. But as we were watching this event live, Congressman, the president seemed to have sort of an impromptu in the moment thought of, you know what? He said, I'm going to bring the insurance executives over here to the White House. Here's what he said, and then we'll pick it up on the other side.
I'm going to call a meeting of the big insurance companies that have gotten so rich by receiving far, far more money than they're entitled to. I'm going to call a meeting of the insurance companies. I'm going to see if they get their price down, to put it very bluntly.
So what about the insurance companies? Do you think the president can move the needle there?
You know what? He's a blunt instrument. So if he can bring down health insurance prices, take on the health insurance industry, that does make billions of dollars of profits every year, doesn't lower the cost of insurance for folks. That's a good thing. Yeah, we're talking about expanding the subsidies, but that should just be a temporary measure. That should buy us time to actually address the real cost of healthcare. And I agree with Senator Cassidy when he says, those subsidies just go to pay off the health insurance companies. There's some truth to that. So we've got to fix the system. And if the president's the one that can do it, use the force of his personality, I think Democrats should work with him on this.
So MFN helps, but most favored nations pricing still has middlemen and corporate markups that extract massive profit from the supply chain. We eliminate that entirely, and drug costs will come down in 3 different ways. Group discounts. First, we'll buy directly from the international pharmaceutical suppliers at a 15% markup. No middlemen, no corporate markups or extraction. Mark Cuban proved that this works with nearly 7 million customers and an 80 to 90% savings. Pretty impressive. Second, academic partnerships, where we work with leading researchers and educators, the ones who actually discovered how to treat and cure different medical ailments. Well, according to UAEM, Universities Allied for Essential Medicine, a coalition of academic researchers who practice science as a public good, they've discovered that for every blockbuster drug, there are often dozens of FDA-approved alternatives that are just as effective, a fraction of the cost, but no one knows they exist because that knowledge has been suppressed or those products purchased and shelved so the profiteers could make and keep us sick on inferior treatments. Well, all of that changes when we engage academia and raise awareness about the alternatives, which will increase competition and drive down costs better than any other plan under consideration. What this does is allow someone like Mark Cuban to compete when it comes to the specialty drugs, because according to UAEM, for every blockbuster drug, there's dozens of alternatives that are safer, better, and cheaper. Then, why wouldn't you go with the better option? And we will make those options available through the Fire Sale online marketplace, coming as soon as we get enough people signing up for this plan, because we're a ground floor opportunity here to solve problems that you and the United States have recognized needs to be solved, as evidenced by President Trump's goals of reducing drug prices and insurance prices, both of which we can accomplish easily. You'll see. First, let's go ahead and talk about the third way to reduce drug prices, the Fire Sale Marketplace, which is a cooperative buying platform that we're building here in Sacramento. We'll import the same pharmaceutical products that Amazon and Walmart and other pharmacies import, but without the profit margin or motive. In this way, we'll become a dominant importer with zero middlemen, and we'll make the products and ingredients available to Mark Cuban at cost so he can have a competitive advantage over the entire prescription drug industry, if he wants it. Now, as it comes to insurance and the leverage that Medicare and Medicaid have, consider this. Our plan will reduce insurance costs through savings that actually funds additional coverage. Now, you probably wonder what I mean. Here's how. Every dollar that we save CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, on prescription drugs, it will be reinvested. We will hold town halls and hold Congress accountable for better decisions and show documented savings and demand that CMS convert their expensive insurance plans that cost upwards of $8,000 for individuals to $600 a year telehealth plans that are appropriate for 80% of Americans who don't need hospitalization or specialty care. That's $7,950 saved per person per year. And these savings pay for it entirely without a new budget, without subsidies, just efficiency and smart decision making. Well, there's telehealth platforms out there which cost less than $50 a month. That's $600 a year, and it offers just as good as quality service and care and support as the more expensive health insurance plans. So if it's appropriate for the majority of people on Medicare and Medicaid, why not use the savings of $50 a month to sponsor the placement of people into telehealth instead of costly health insurance plans? That alone will save more than $1 trillion a year, because the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid cares for more than 150 million people. At $8,000 a pop, that's a pretty penny when you consider our savings and those for our medications. Hopefully you'll see we will save trillions. So, in short, the telehealth platforms are infinitely scalable, but we will have our own. In the meantime, we'll work with the existing platforms out there because we want to sponsor placement of people in traditional Medicare and Medicaid into those plans. We'll let them choose whoever they want, kind of like choosing their own doctor. Only this time everything is paid for out of savings without increasing taxes, raising the debt or deficit, or requiring legislation. So now you're probably wondering, what is PHIERS? PHIERS, PHIERS. The PH makes the F sound like philosophy. Well, PHIERS is a cooperative buying plan and online marketplace coming soon. It's 100% owned, operated by and accountable only to the members, we the people. And we the people, the members, will vote on how any profits are used. We'll buy medication, health services, and products at volume discounts. And we'll pass those savings directly on to the members and the payers instead of extracting and giving them to those who make and keep us sick for profit. It's bipartisan because it works for everyone. Republicans get fiscal efficiency, Democrats get universal affordable coverage, and the president gets credit for finally delivering on promises that actually helps the American people. Promises kept. So here's why this matters now more than ever. On December 31st, 22 million Americans are going to lose their health care coverage because the insurance subsidy cliff hits. Fortunately, Congress is in their home districts right now for the winter break. So this is our moment to hold town hall meetings with them, to demand that they either commit to using our solution, which pays for itself and delivers lower costs, better quality, universal access to care and monthly checks like a UBI. This pays for it all. So let's have these town hall meetings as quickly as possible so we can ask our elected officials if they support this, if they have something better, or we ask them to explain why they won't embrace this solution that improves lives better than any other plan under consideration. So in closing, just know that every single claim that I'm making is 100% evidence-based. It's not speculative. It is verifiably true. Al Wilson, the distinguished veteran who co-architected this solution, he validates this entire strategy. In fact, in 2007, he formed SureSafe Pharmacy to import medications without middlemen and markups here in Sacramento. He and Bill Wiggins, the chairman. So, Congressman Barra, we have an open letter that we would like you to respond to. Your response will show POTUS and your constituents that you're the one actively delivering on the president's promises to bring down drug and insurance costs better than any other plan under consideration. To constituents, I'm going to ask that they sign the petition and fill out the survey so that your representatives will know what's important to you, so that we the people can hold them accountable for decisions that protects, respects, and reflects our interests, the way that Congressman Barra does. To all of the other elected officials out there, we only have one question, or is it a demand? You tell me. Either support PHIERS.org, offer something better, or prepare to step aside or be replaced in a special election, because it'd be obvious that you're not protecting your constituents as much as you are your donors. Those days are over. The American people deserve to know where you stand. Healthcare truly is a human right. Our plan pays for it all while creating millions of meaningful AI-resistant jobs and having enough left over to give people monthly checks to help them deal with inflation. And that is a beautiful thing. In closing, I hope to hear from you soon, and happy holidays. Peace.